Oh, my mind is all over the place this morning. It is all over. Wait till everybody get here. I just it okay. I'm trying to explain. I've been sitting here and I've been sitting here for like I got up a little bit early this morning. I made a mistake. I shut down my computer or my computer shut down and now I have to remake the whole everything I made. I made my new setup. I got to remake everything today. So that was it. But I've been sitting here and what's up? What's up? Still the king. Let me you're not over here yet. Let me try to get this back. Still the king. Google. Hey Google, what's up? What's up, Vic? JJ, you're here. Election day. I took care of that a few days ago. I don't go around them polls on election day. I hadn't voted on election day in a long time. Let me see. All right, there we go. Hey, Mr. Pokemaster. All right, trade the house and let's get to the rebuild. Okay, yeah, let's get to talking. All right, first of all, good morning, Chris Plumage. My new take is Dak is the new conductor of the Romo Coaster. Yep, it needs a new name. It's the Dak Coaster. Up and down, leads the league into the All-Pro next season. Yes, yeah. That tells you, Chris. That tells you that's especially Chris. When you look at Dak's, when you look at his college highlights and what he is now, this is a Cowboys thing. This is a Cowboys organizational thing. Oh, good job, JJ. He's already in charge. That's why I ain't worried about nothing today. Exactly. Rick Charlton. Thank you for bringing me back, Rick Charlton. It's like, okay, if you remember me, I'm gonna go back to all the stuff I was saying. You remember me this summer. This summer, I was like out of my mind because we didn't do anything. And the way we fell apart at the end of the season and the obvious needs that were there for us at the end of the season, and then when we let players go in that need area, i.e. running back, when we let players go in those need areas and pass rush with Dorrance and all these people, we didn't get anybody in return to replace those. We wanted to do it all in-house when they wasn't in-house. So that infuriated me this summer. And I was like, I was focused on Dak Prescott because of the contract situation. I was like, Dak, are you going to come back to this stuff? Or are you going to go somewhere else? And I was basically pushing him somewhere else because I didn't believe that we were in any shape to support a quarterback. We aren't in any shape to support, or to win right now. We're not entering with the roster that we had in this offseason. Wasn't a bridge to the offseason. It's not a bridge to us going to the divisionals and the championship game. The progression that we want to go in, that wasn't a roster, and we didn't make any moves to take us in that direction. So I'm like, look, Dak, you can't sign no contract right now and play football for this football team because you will be hurt. You will throw a whole bunch of interceptions behind this offensive line. You will not have anybody open. All this stuff that happened this year was completely seeable during the summer. And then also I said, you will get hurt. I said, us putting a project left tackle, and I'm not saying it's his fault. This is my thinking at that time. And it's just the philosophy of the situation. Us putting a project right tackle at left tackle at the beginning of the season was like, that just blew my mind. I'm like, are you trying to kill the quarterback? And so it was just like all of this happened, and then this happens like right now, and then Dak's injury is a hamstring, so we don't know nothing about the whole hamstring thing. So it's 2 to season ending, and I'm betting it's probably season ending. We're just going to figure out what we can do here. If Cooper Rush can win some games, I'll talk about that in a minute. And if we can get Dak Brown, kind of like we did last time. But everything that's happened to this football team so far has been completely seeable. All of us, once we get past the emotion of watching the team lose or whatever, the next day we're fine. Like even after the 49ers game, the next day I was fine. After this Falcons game, the next day I'm fine. Because they're not underperforming to me. I was going to make a video yesterday because everybody is very popular on TV and all this stuff saying what's wrong with the Cowboys? What's wrong with the Cowboys? There's literally nothing wrong with the Cowboys. The Cowboys are who they are. And to me, this is why I'm a bridge into it. To me, this team has been playing pretty hard. They're just not good. They're just not good. So at this point, Rick, when you're trying to win and lose every week, you're not tanking. The Cowboys need to decide to lose. They can't beat anybody. Well, not anybody they played so far, Rick Armstrong. And that's what I said before. We play, and we must acknowledge that. It's like sometimes we acknowledge what we want to acknowledge for what reason. Last year, we were blowing people out at the beginning of the season. They were not good football teams, and everybody told us that. This season, we played very good football teams to the wire. But we don't want to accept we played them to the wire because we didn't beat them. The only thing that we accept is we beat them. And then the one team that we did come by and beat Pittsburgh, nobody wants to bring that up at all. It's just like we focus on that on that negative. But this season, so far, we've played some really good football teams. 3 of the football teams we played are fighting for the Super Bowl. Ravens, Lions, and 49ers. And Atlanta will probably be in the playoffs as well. Atlanta's going to be a very strong team at the end of the season. So those are our 4 of our losses. I don't want to talk about Saints right now. The Saints are really disappointing me. But on the other side of the thing, we have Carolina, we have the Giants again. We have some winnable football games. So I, as a older person, when I was younger, I want that draft pick. I want the draft pick. Tank. I would be all with play Trey Lance and see what we got, and if he thinks we get a better draft pick or whatever. I can't get with that mentality at this moment because the team is playing as hard as they can play, in my opinion. And to stop them from playing as hard as they can play, to get them to quit and become bigger losers, that's hard for me. I'd rather take that 12, 14 pick and win some tough ball games rather than having a number 5 pick and getting another Morris Claiborne. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I don't trust the organization is going to do the right thing with that top 5 pick if we somehow go all the way up to a top 6 or top 7. I don't think the organization is going to do the right thing because we've been up there before and not done the right thing. So I feel like it's more important for the players to figure out how to get some wins. We can win some games with Cooper Rush. You've seen us win games with Cooper Rush. It's not over with Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is a top quality backup that can win some football games, and the tier of teams that we're playing right now are all mid-tier. They're all mid-tier. So for us to go in there with versus mid-tier teams and just lay down, that's tough. That's tough for me. See, Burleson, look, man, play hard and still lose, it has a silver lining. But you got to play hard because there's no switch where you can stop playing hard this year and then next year you start playing hard again. No, play hard. If you play hard and lose, we're going to get up the next morning and be fine because you gave your best. So that's yeah. They're peaking at an underwhelming roster. Exactly. 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 This ain't the same team that won with Cooper Rush. I know exactly what you're saying, Cortland Brown. That deep. Well. If you remember Cortland Brown, if you remember that season when Cooper Rush took over, Micah and the defense changed. Remember that? Mike and the defense knew that they had to take over the football games and do whatever. And the amount of points that Cooper Rush had to generate was much lesser than before because the defense changed. You know what I'm saying? So what Michael was saying yesterday is he's got to keep trying. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense for them to stop trying. Eagles and Commanders, they're not blowing anybody out the water right now. The Commanders haven't beaten one good team. The Commanders are very similar to the Dallas Cowboys of last year when they were winning games and but beating tomato cans, and they had a great time, especially Broussard on their show, bringing out tomato cans every time we won a game. It was a tomato can. It was a tomato can. It was a tomato can. Okay, this year we weren't playing tomato cans, and we didn't beat them, but we weren't playing tomato cans. So this middle section, I'm not going to call any of those teams. I'm not going to call the Texans, the Eagles, the Commanders. I'm not calling them any kind of bad names. Those are good teams that are going to be fighting for the playoffs. Those are good teams that are going to be fighting for the playoffs. They're not the Ravens. They're not the 49ers. They're not the Lions. Not in my eyes. Not in my brain. Yeah, JJ, I wanted Travis Hunter too, but Travis Hunter has a podcast, and I think we're maxed out with podcasts with the Cowboys. And then Micah and Travis Hunter would be have competitive podcasts. Nah, let them go. Let them go to Atlanta. Yeah, exactly, Courtney Brown. But who did the Eagles play? I understand they're playing good ball, but they almost lost. No, excuse me. They should have lost to the Jaguars. I don't know what Trevor Lawrence was thinking there at the end of the game. I mean, I don't know what the coaches were thinking about Philadelphia. They were up. I mean, they had the opportunity to just drain the clock and go into that end zone and leave the clock at 0. They decided to try to throw the ball in the end zone with 50-something seconds to go. If they had scored that touchdown, they would have left Philadelphia enough time to get in field goal range to at least try to win the game again. So the Jaguars game, I have no idea how they blew it that bad versus Philadelphia. And with all those catches that Devonta made, with the Saquon Barkley turnaround, jumping backwards and stuff, the Jaguars were still there at the end of the game. The Jaguars were still there at the end of the game. And then before that, the Cleveland Browns played them to the. So I'm saying when the Cowboys play such teams and barely beat such teams, we look at the whole thing at a different. We look at it in a different way. That's all I'm saying. And this year, we have not played such teams. And when we did, we beat Cleveland. So, and Cooper Rush can win. I would just rather keep my mind toward winning and accept the losses because it's going to put me better in the draft. But don't turn down. Don't throw Trey Lance out there just to lose. Don't do anything to tank. Because that just getting back from that tank job is not easy. You create a bunch of losers. So Cortland Brown, they just have to beat a good team. They just have to beat a real good team. Week 1 they did with the Packers, but. Yeah, the Lions, I meant to put that. The Lions just got this Zadarius Smith. So the Lions, I was happy with that. Right before they play the Eagles, B Mackerel. So and that's what I was thinking. Look, Cortland Brown, you don't need to say another word. Beat the Lions. You don't have to say another word about the Eagles. Beat the Lions. I believe in the Eagles. You don't have to say another word. Goldie, you don't have say another word. If the Eagles, I wait till I see the stuff that happen. Every year is different, and I wait till I see the stuff happens on the field. I don't listen to what people say and say, "Oh, blah, 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 blah." If the Eagles beat the Lions, then I will include the Eagles into one of the really good football teams of this year. Okay? Why do I say the Niners are a good team? Because they are. I mean, you know they are. I mean, that's not. And you know the Niners are a good team, and you know the Niners are going to win their division. The Niners are the one team that's hurt more than we have been hurt. So, I thought they play next week. I thought I just heard that just a few minutes ago. Who are the Lions playing next week? Crap. I thought they just said that. Who do the Eagles play next week? Nah, I don't think the Rams are going to win it. The 49ers are going to get their boys back. Yeah, I can't. You know the Niners are good. I can't. I mean, they're well coached. I can't with sometimes you lose games. I can't go. The Niners have put too much consistency on the board, and those same people that have put that consistency on the board are still in place with the 49ers. Sirianni has not put any consistency anywhere. So Sirianni's got to be consistent, and then that's going to happen. I cannot just put the Eagles right there with the 49ers because the 49ers have been doing it year after year after year after year. Eagles play Washington next. That is great. So one of them is definitely getting getting the L. No. Mansour Alamy. I'm not going to say the Eagles are not a good football team. The Eagles are easily the most talented football team in the NFC East, and one of the most talented teams in the NFC. As far as the roster build. So the fact that y'all love, because they were mad because the Philadelphia Eagles fans love Howie and hate Sirianni, it makes sense because Howie is doing the things that we wish our owner would do. Just imagine us with Saquon Barkley. Do you think we would be sitting here in this situation if we had Saquon Barkley with Dak and CD? Do you really think we'd be in this situation if we had just some of that? Just think about those big nose tackles. Do you think we'd be in a situation that can't stop the run if we had those big nose tackles? You know what I'm saying? It's just like Howie is doing it for Philly. So I cannot say Philly's a bad team at all. It's the Sirianni I don't believe in. And it's kind of that way with the Commanders too. With the Commanders, I've always said the Commanders are a quarterback away from being a serious problem. And I'm so mad that they finally got the quarterback. I said it all year. When they were Heinekeing us, when they were hanging with us with Heineke, I'm just sitting out. I'm like, if this team get a quarterback, man, we in trouble. So they finally got their quarterback. But the Eagles are a very, very talented football team. So are the Commanders. Yeah, that's what I said. Lucas Devlin. He said, doesn't matter. McCarthy doesn't run the ball. I can put those last two losses that we could have won those last two games. And I put both with the 49ers and the Falcons. And I put both of those losses right there on McCarthy's lap. I put it right there on his lap because in the 49er game, We knew the part. If you remember the game, if you was watching it with me, you remember the game. It was like maybe like 5 minutes or 6 minutes left to go in a half, and we were up 7-3 or something like that. And I was like, oh my goodness, all we got to do is just walk this thing down to the goal line and either score a touchdown or a field goal and go into the half. We just need to run the football. And the running was doing pretty. It was pretty successful at that point. And then at that point, we decided to pass, interception. That's what we did. We passed 9 times in a row, and the 9th pass was an interception. And we lost, and within those 9 passes in a row, we allowed the San Francisco 49ers to get the ball twice before the half, and then we threw the interception after a stupid kickoff reverse that was not needed. Threw that interception, and the game's over. Right there in the moment. This one, same thing with the 3rd down and 1. First of all, it is criminal that 3rd and 1 is a passing down with the Dallas Cowboys. It is criminal that 3rd and 1 is a passing down with the Dallas Cowboys. The Philadelphia Eagles, 3rd and 1 is a first down every time. It's 100%. With the Philadelphia Eagles, 3rd and 1 is 100%. With us, 3rd and 1 is a passing down. You have to understand the difference in those two. And the fact that we ran the ball, got stopped, and then did a reverse on 4th and 1 and got that play blown up in a row were 2 of the dumbest play calls in the world. Just simply do a quarterback sneak twice. It was so easy. And that flipped the game right then in that moment. Why is McCarthy still here? Why is he still here? Why is he still here? Why is he still here? And those, okay, I won't say we would have won because that's not true. I will say those are the moments in both games where we lost the game. That was the moment where we were put in chase mode. Those were the moments. It's maddening to me, and that people don't understand the difference in us having to pass on 3rd and 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles when on 3rd and 1 they're going a quarterback sneak and they're pushing that quarterback over and they're keeping that drive going. You don't know how important that is. We have no short yardage, no short yardage game. Exactly. So let's be honest, we're simply not good enough at certain positions right now. We don't have a running game. So the fact that these guys have been into these football games, the blowout of the Lions, okay, the blowout of the Saints, now it's just, that's confusing me like crazy. But other than that, other than those 2 games, these guys have been in the game. The scheme is trash, yep. Barkley's going to run 200 yards. Now look, that's the one thing that has the Commanders and the Eagles in the position that they're in. Both teams running game. The Eagles with Barkley, you can't imagine where the Eagles will be without Saquon Barkley this year. Saquon Barkley has been their entire thing this year. He has been everything this year. And with the Commanders, their run game has been what has been leading that offense. That run game has been what has been setting Jalen Daniels up and everything. So the run game with those 2 teams, against the run game of ours, it's like night and day. The Saints game was pretty bad. I don't have any excuses for that. None. No, I think the blowout wasn't because we're not a good football team, Drew. I think the blowout because we're not a very well-coached football team. I think that Saints blowout because it definitely wasn't. It shouldn't have happened on the field. I just think that we got out-coached and out-schemed against a team with weapons. Yeah, C5 Abrams said, coaching and execution are bad as well. Love Martin. Martin has been one of the worst players in the league this year. Zach Martin has been one of the worst players in the league this year. Atlanta's winning the NFC South. I believe that. BC. I do not know what's going on with T-Law Starscream. I thought T-Law was going to be much better with this, with the coach they have in Jacksonville. He really disappointed. He's really disappointed me a lot. A lot. I mean, and what he did, what they did against the Eagles was like, I was sitting here, I wasn't paying a game attention. I was playing on my small screen. I was playing my college football with my Oregon Ducks, and I looked up. And I was like, whoa, Jacksonville. And I saw the pass and got down. And I took my headphones off. I took everything and I watched the game. And he threw it. I mean, just the worst pass. Just the silliest little not safe pass was thrown. And a guy who never made an interception in his life made a crucial interception at that time. It's unbelievable. Drew, that's been one of my pet peeves. Drew says, Shango, so you think Dallas is still a talented team? Drew, I've been yelling that we're not a talented team for a long time. Last year, not this year, I wouldn't go to training camp this year. Last year, I went to training camp. And Shady McCoy came out there to training camp. And he came back on TV, the same training camp I was. He came back on TV. He said, the one thing you can see out there at Dallas Cowboy training camp is talent. They're overloaded with talent. They've got talent this, they've got that. All he's doing is setting up his Dak argument. All he was doing is setting up the Dak is ruining it for everybody else. So it was all set up by the media telling our fan base that we have a talented roster. When we ain't had no talented roster. The last time I can say we had a talented roster is when Amari Cooper was here. I was really happy with that roster because we had two basically wide receiver ones. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like everybody else does. So at that point, we had a kind of a talented roster. But no, we don't have no talented roster. And not only we're not talented enough at a number of positions, we're not talented enough at those crucial positions. Defensive tackle is crucial. Offensive line, well, I won't say we're not talented, we're not ready. And we're in transition at the offensive line. We're not talented at running back. We're old there. And we have a guy who gives everything he got, Rico, which I appreciate. Poor game management, the scheme, that is the main things right now that need to be fixed. So we can win with Cooper Rush, but we can't win with Cooper Rush if we don't block for Cooper Rush. We can't win with Cooper Rush if we don't if we have bad game management with Cooper Rush. We cannot win with Cooper Rush if Cooper Rush is not set up perfectly. So the defense, like last time, everything has to change. Yeah, that's true. This is really Lucas Devlin's like this is really a year where the Eagles have to win. This wasn't a year that we have to win. Like nobody Nobody thought, and nobody in the Cowboys fan base, what I know, thought that we were going to be that good. There was a few people saying we weren't going to be that bad, but I didn't see anybody saying that we were going to be like having like more than 10. I think I was the most optimistic with like 9 to 10 wins, but I didn't say 10. That main talking point, we had 9 All-Pros. Yep. Because we're Dallas. Those players on TV all the time. Why didn't we give the defensive coordinator job to Al Harris? You know, I'm glad for Al Harris that we didn't, because the defense was hurt. The defense was in transition. So I just don't think it would have looked bad on Al Harris if Al Harris had took this job. I don't think Al Harris could have done anything with what we have. I'd rather a guy with a name like Zimmer that can take these blows, you know what I'm saying, and hopefully fix it. Get Kaepernick. Are you crazy? Oh, yeah, definitely. I would agree the Eagles are better than Dallas at this point. But I would agree that the Eagles are better than Dallas, period, on the with the roster. It's not even close, to be honest, with the Eagles. What I'm basing this on, Dagos Eagles Champ 34, is last year. Last year, you guys fell apart. We had nothing to do with it. We had no business in the playoffs where we were. We had no business winning the division. That had nothing to do with us. It was all the Eagles. So the Eagles, in my mind, you're still that until further notice. That talented team that just like fell apart. So no, it's not an Eagles versus Dallas. Y'all here, we're here. It's just the dysfunction that's there. You know, you have dysfunction as we have dysfunction. But you have the player. Like for instance, just think, if y'all didn't make all those ridiculous plays versus the Jaguars. I mean, that touchdown by Devonta was stupid. You know what I'm saying? He made another catch that was crazy. If y'all wasn't that talented making all those great plays, you know what I'm saying? It could be different. The Cowboys are just cursed. No, we're not. No, we're not cursed. We have our owner name is Jerry Jones. If you want to call that a curse, that's the curse. Yeah. So that's what I'm basing it on, Cortland. And then I don't believe in Sirianni, but the players and the roster, no. It's Howie, Jerry. Jerry. Let me touch the floor. Jerry. What's up, Action Power? Thank you, man. Light years. That's what CB Abrams said. The Eagles front office they're light years better than ours. Managing the cap, that's the most important. What you say, C5 Abrams. At two things, they're much better, and we just get Will McClay. Man, Will McClay has not drafted nearly as well as the Philadelphia Eagles. And the cap management, if they make a mistake, they fix their mistake. They send them on. I mean, they're never stuck with players for some. I don't know how they manage the cap, but they manage the cap ridiculously. And they always get traded. They're always looking to get better. Always. We had opportunities to get better this season. During the season. I mean, Jerry was like, I'm trying. And as he's like saying that he's trying, Devonta Adams walks past him. Amari Cooper walks past him to another team. What's his name from Carolina walks his way to the other team. There's one more. Hop goes to Kansas City. And you know that somebody was talking about how Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball to Hop is different than Dak Prescott and the ball that he threw to Turpin that hit Turpin's face. That's the difference that we're dealing with right now. So I mean, we don't have talent out there. What's up, Foolin' Speaks? Welcome to our world in the 90s. This is how we felt about Aikman, Emmett, and Irvin. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we've been they it's just like that's what the Cowboys do. They will market the heck out of somebody that's done a few good things to the best in the league. So I've always said I think Diggs is a little bit of that. However, I love Diggs. I don't want to trash Diggs at all in any way, but Diggs was made out as a player that he wasn't, and as a shutdown corner, but Diggs is a dog at what he does, and we should have a defense allowing Diggs to do what he does and not make Diggs be Deion Sanders and hate Diggs if he's not Deion Sanders. Hold on. What did he say? What did Lucas says? He said, "Okay, now try the entire history of the NFL. How good are the Eagles then? Great, you guys got one Super Bowl win. I don't expect another for 60 years, Drew." I thought somebody said, "I'm going to look at the schedule," because I thought it was Texans and then Eagles. I was thinking Texans and then Eagles. And who told me the Eagles play the Commanders next week? It is not the Eagles versus Commanders. We got the Eagles. Oh my goodness. No, don't know. Dak is the best quarterback in the division. I'd have Dak before anybody in the division. Check with me in just like 15 minutes on that guy in Washington. I mean, if let's just say if, and don't get this wrong because I absolutely positively love Jalen Hurts. I wanted Jalen Hurts on this football team. I absolutely love the fight and the person that Jalen Hurts is. But if Jalen Hurts ever leaves the Eagles, he better take the tush push with him. Yeah, right after you play us, you'd play the Redskins. Man, I'm not ready for the Eagles. I needed a setup game. I needed the Giants. I needed Cooper Rush versus the Giants. Yeah, Drew. I just got finished telling you how our rosters aren't good. So Dak would have to be like really good. That's what I guess people think Dak is like super good, that he can take a bad roster to the divisional round and the championship, that he's that good, and he's not. He's just a good quarterback. He's not a guy that can take your team from here to here. And there's not many out there. There's one that can. There's one in the league that can. Everybody else needs the right things around them. Yeah, I need like five to 10 more minutes of watching Jaden Daniels, but he's thoroughly pissing me off with his play. I mean, I'm still mad at the Hail Mary because I was like, yeah, finally they'll stop talking about these Commanders. I was sitting right here going, I was standing right there going, good. The Commanders finally took an L from an average team, and they'll stop talking about him. Thank goodness. Then he runs, and I'm pointing at the screen like, wasn't that a hole? That wasn't that. I at least in real time watching that Hail Mary, I saw 2 holes, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I was like, they just letting it go, and then the ball went in the air, and the tip, and the Noah Brown, it was just like horrible. It was horrible. It was horrible. So it's just like that's what I try to explain to people all the time. It was that much of a flip on one play. On one play, it's that much of a flip. If Noah Brown did not catch that ball, they would have been saying this about the Commanders. But Noah Brown caught that ball, so they're saying this about the Commanders. And this is more supported because the win makes it better. It puts them in a better situation. So that's all I'm saying with the Commanders, man. They're making me mad. I know that was the worst part of it, Jimmy Moran, that Noah Brown caught it. I won't say Hurts only beat someone bad team. No, I will say no, Drew. They're not even close to the same guy. He said Dak is a poor man's Donovan McNabb. No, Hurts is a poor man's Donovan McNabb. Hurts is a poor man's Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb is a little bit better than Hurts, but both of them were running quarterbacks, athletic quarterbacks. They struggled with their pass a little bit and their accuracy and all that kind of stuff. You wouldn't see nan one of them. That's one of my favorite words. You wouldn't see nan one of them putting up the numbers that like Dak put up last year. Nan one of them ever. Well, no, Lucas Devlin. Allen and Lamar are imperfect vehicles built for them. Josh Allen and Lamar are imperfect offenses, and those offenses are built for them. And they went out and got weapons for those quarterbacks. Josh got Amari. Lamar got my man from Carolina. Lamar got Henry. So Josh Allen and Lamar, they got definitely set up. And Josh Allen already got a beast running back over there. So they already got pieces in place to set up those quarterbacks for success. We don't have none of that. Mahomes is the only one who can. But right now, Mahomes doesn't have to. Mahomes did last night. I didn't watch the game, but it seems like he did last night. But Mahomes is the only one that if he has to pick up a team and carry them, he can do it. And if we're mad at Dak because he ain't Mahomes, that's your fault. Let's just play Lance and see how it goes. You know what? I want to win Pride by Space. That's why I can't go with Lance right now. I want to win. I'm not in. You know when we do that? When we're eliminated by when we're mathematically eliminated. Whenever we're mathematically eliminated, then you start making decisions like that and seeing what you got for the future and things of that sort. Exactly. Exactly, Lucas Devlin. That Hail Mary. That's why the talk went so much from Chicago. Washington might be a pretender, which they would have said if they lost that game to Chicago, because they called Chicago a pretender just now. They would have called the Commanders a pretender if they lost that game to the Bears. And that pretender would have got into the people's head. But now that they caught that pass, everybody's calling them a team of destiny and all that kind of stuff. And that stuff gets it in their head. So, yeah, it is definitely real. It is definitely real. No. I look. Josh Allen don't have any receivers, but Josh Allen has a killer running game. He has a killer run game. So when you have a killer run game, it opens up everything. Lamar is a great talent. But Lamar wasn't winning Super Bowls, was he? That's what you're talking about. Lamar wasn't doing much better than Dak. That's what's happening in real time before whatever. So Lamar don't have any Super Bowls. I said the one guy that can do it is Patrick Mahomes, and I love Lamar. I was so mad. Last year, Lamar should have beat Patrick Mahomes. He really should have. If he would have done anything in that football game, they would have beat Patrick Mahomes. Because his defense had Patrick Mahomes in handcuffs. I know. No ring. 3 MVPs and no ring. And trust me, MVP. He did not deserve that MVP last year. The MVP is just a game award they give. The media gives them. It doesn't mean that anybody's better than anybody else. Realistic, we can only lose 2 more. Yeah, 2 more. 2 more losses. No, not really 2 more losses. Probably by space. If we lose, the only path is through the division. The only path is through the division. So therefore, we have to beat Washington probably twice, and we have to beat the Eagles at least once. You know what I'm saying? And we have to sweep the Giants. So we have to at least go like 5-1 in the division, because we have to give my division foes some losses. You know what I'm saying? So that's got to happen. So if we lose to Philadelphia, it's over. It's probably almost mathematically over at that point, because we'll be 4-2 in the division, and that's not going to be enough. Yeah, no, everybody's acting. No, Cooper Rush can win games. Cooper Rush does not have a strong arm. He has a good head on his shoulders. He knows the offense, and he can get it done. No, we're saying Drew, we're saying the same thing. That these quarterbacks that have better rosters, I'm gonna say 2 of them, Brock Purdy and Lamar and Josh, all 3 have much better rosters, and they can't get past it. They can't win it. Because this is a Patrick Mahomes world. The only thing that those 3 guys got going for them is they're not playing in Dallas. But I guarantee you, if Lamar played in Dallas, he'd be pure trash. If Purdy played in Dallas, he'd be pure trash. And if Josh Allen played in Dallas, they'd just they'd roast him, because he's the least accurate of all of them. They couldn't take the pressure of being a Dallas Cowboys quarterback. Now Goff is in the situation. No. Goff is in oh yeah, you're right. Goff is in the best situation of all the situations. He is in the envious situation. He is in the catbird seat. Goff, it's just like and what it was with them, they built a machine, and then they went and got a functional quarterback. They built a machine in Detroit, and then they got the quarterback to do it with them. Yeah. Even elite quarterbacks need help. And then also the reality, Drew needs to face the reality that those other quarterbacks aren't winning. The only quarterback that's winning, his name is Patrick Mahomes. And he's in, well, I just said the Goff's in the perfect situation. No, Patrick Mahomes is in the most perfect situation, because he's been in it for a long time. He's got the GOAT defensive coordinator probably. He's got the GOAT offensive mind in the NFL probably. He's got one of the GOAT tight ends. All right, I gotta go take the kid. I'm a little bit late. I'm 2 minutes late. I gotta go take the kids. I'm trying to reach y'all's last one. Eagles gonna have 10 sacks on rush this week. I just look, man. This game, I don't know what we're going to bring. This game is on the Eagles. That's all I'll say. It all depends on how the Eagles come in this game. If the Eagles come in like they came in with the Jaguars, they might lose, because I believe in Cooper Rush a little bit more than Trevor Lawrence right now in this moment. So if they play like they did versus the Browns and the Jaguars, then we got a chance with Cooper Rush. That's all I'll say. All right, guys, let me get these kids Tony.